Hey guys, how you all doing? My name is Tucker Davis, and might be one of my longest videos I ever made. I'm not really sure, but like if we're talking editing wise, maybe. But today we are ranking every single starting NFL quarterback from worst to best. Now, please don't get triggered at me for this list, but there is a trigger warning. Let's just say that, all right? But anyways, let's go for a little disclaimer real quick. We're gonna talk about the quarterbacks that are actually starting, like the quarterbacks at the beginning of the year, if you know what I mean. Like, for example, the Cowboys, they had Andy Dalton. It's going to be Dak Prescott instead because he started at the beginning of the year. And Andy Dalton just finished the season for him, much like most of the other quarterbacks that we got. All right? So, yeah, that's a little disclaimer. And also, this is my own opinion. So, don't get mad at me if one of your favorite quarterbacks is at the bottom of the list. All right? I'm telling you, this list is going to be good. So, yeah, so if you guys want to follow up more, just hit the bell notifications and subscribe and comment and maybe share with your friends this video. So yeah, let's get right into it. There are 32 quarterbacks total, and we are starting off with the Broncos' Drew Lock. Okay, a little backstory of mine. So I know some of my friends actually like the Broncos, and that's fine. I personally don't like the Broncos, except Von Miller. Von Miller's like the only decent player off the Broncos, except Jerry Jeudy. He's new. But enough about them. We're talking about Drew Lock here. Let's just say Drew Lock is not a championship material quarterback. He's not as consistent as many people think he is. Although the Broncos did not have that bad of a losing season, but they still had a losing season with him. So you can kind of expect that Drew Lock is probably not going to be the quarterback to bring the Broncos to a Super Bowl. Which, I mean, Peyton Manning's done it, but that was Peyton Manning. This is Drew Lock now. And he's just come out of college. He's still a young quarterback, so he's got a lot to prove on his hand. But, just moral of the story, Drew Lock is not that skilled of a quarterback compared to the others on this list. Enough said. Coming up next is Gardner Minshew off the Jaguars. So now, Gardner Minshew is obviously not that good of a quarterback. In college, he was great. He was magnificent. But in the NFL, I feel like most of the new quarterbacks that came out of college have been dropping down from their college skill levels all the way down to like just absolute like 0 out of 10 style. And Gardner Minshew is one of those quarterbacks. Now, okay, yeah, usually I study quarterbacks when I do like ranking videos and stuff like that, or I just study things. But I just know this from experience. Gardner Minshew needs some work. And that explains a lot. Because when Nick Foles was on the Jaguars, it wasn't a big problem. Gardner Minshew was then there. It kind of became a problem because now the Jaguars are the worst team in the league. So I think honestly, yeah, Gardner Minshew would be a magnificent quarterback if he just worked just a little bit harder. He's gonna bust his ass, dude. Come on. It's Gardner Minshew. He's a quarterback. You guys would probably guess who's up next. It's Sam Darnold from the New York Jets. Now, Darnold, on the other hand, he's a decent quarterback. He just has a really, really shitty team. Okay, yeah, Sam Darnold, you guys have probably seen him in college. Sam Darnold is a really, really decent quarterback. And he's pretty agile for his size. Now, like, he doesn't look like he's like big, but he's a pretty stocky dude. And he actually can hold down the team pretty well if he had just a little bit better receivers and better O-line. So, I guess that's the main concern with Sam Darnold. Other than that, he's honestly not that bad of a quarterback. He just needs a better O-line. That's the reason why the Jets kind of suck this year. Their O-line, not their quarterback. So everybody that's been really giving bullcrap about Sam Darnold, I really don't like you. Number 29 on this list, it is going to be Teddy Bridgewater. So now this selection is very, very triggering to some people, and I can understand exactly why. Now, Teddy Bridgewater, he's a great quarterback, but I think the main reason why he's this low on my list is due to the fact that I just don't know too much about him. Like, I feel like if I were to rank these videos, then I would have to know so much about the certain thing or item or whatever we're discussing in the video. But I just don't know about Teddy Bridgewater, and like even if I try to look up, I still wouldn't remember it. So like I would have to have a pen and paper right next to me to write stuff down about Teddy Bridgewater. But all I know is that he's a really good quarterback, and he deserves a lot more credit than he does. But this is where I'm placing him just due to the fact that I don't know much about him. Our next one on this list is also going to be triggering. We have Jalen Hurts from the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, he was originally the not the starting quarterback. He was the backup quarterback for now third-string quarterback Carson Wentz. who might not even be on the Eagles next year, but enough about him. Jalen Hurts is not that bad of a quarterback. He came out of college strong, one of the top quarterbacks, probably I think it was maybe a 4-star quarterback. I'm not entirely sure. I don't read much into ratings, but Jalen Hurts is not that bad of a quarterback. But much like the Eagles, or much like the Jets, and much like the Jaguars and some of the other teams with bad O-lines, they have a bad O-line. So Jalen Hurts cannot cope with it, especially since their star center, Jason Kelce, is going to be gone next year. So their O-line might even be 2 times as worse. But yeah, Jalen Hurts, I would say, is probably maybe the worst skilled out of the rookies, the rookie quarterbacks that came out of the 2020 draft. But I'm assuming he'll excel in the new years. Next up on this list is another rookie quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. He's on the Miami Dolphins at the moment. And, well, he had a pretty good start when he had this starting job over Ryan Fitzpatrick. But after an injury, he got second string quarterback again. So that's a little bit of a downgrade for a rookie, but it's not that bad. Okay, like Tua Tagovailoa is a good quarterback. People just don't see it in him, and neither do the Dolphins. The Dolphins don't see him as the future quarterback for their team, which is oddly enough kind of stupid because Tua Tagovailoa might get traded this offseason due to the Deshaun Watson rumors. But anyways, Tua's a great quarterback, but I think he might need a little bit more work on his scrambling. And if he gets that pretty good, I say he would probably be one of the best rookie quarterbacks to ever come out of college, period. And that's probably saying a lot for him. Another rookie quarterback coming in here is the Cincinnati Bengals' Joe Burrow. Now, obviously, in the start of the season, Joe Burrow, he did pretty good. He was a really nice quarterback, and obviously he came out of LSU, one of the best football schools ever, and he won the Heisman Trophy. But yeah, Jalen Hurts. Joe Burrow is honestly, like, I don't think he's as good as people say he is. Like, he's a good quarterback, just not too good to excel somebody like Aaron Rodgers or maybe Patrick Mahomes. Joe Burrow is he's that balanced quarterback. You know, he can run and he can pass too. But ever since he got the ACL injury, his team just went completely downhill. One good thing though is that with their starting quarterback, I think it was Ryan Finley. It was either Ryan Finley or Kyle Allen, and they beat the Steelers. They beat this 13-2 at the time Steelers. So that's pretty nice. But yeah, ever since Joe Burrow got his ACL injury, like the team's just pretty much gone downhill, and we knew that they just weren't going to make the playoffs because, you know, for a team like the Bengals and like the teams like the Jaguars and stuff like that, it's kind of hard to make the playoffs when you have a terrible O-line. Next up is the Giants' Daniel Jones. Now, he's placed on this list specifically for the fall that he did against, I think it was the Eagles. He ran what could have been like at least an 80 to 90 yard touchdown, and he stumbled. He stumbled and he got put down. So yeah, that's Daniel Jones for you. But honestly, Daniel Jones isn't really that bad of a quarterback, I guess you could say. But injuries have really kept him out of the spot, and he had Gerald McCoy fill in for him, and he's also pretty good. But the Giants are just not really that good of a team. They haven't been for quite some time now. But yeah, we're just gonna put Daniel Jones here specifically because of the fall. Other than that, he's a nice quarterback. Rolling out the rookie quarterback section, I think personally this is the best rookie quarterback that we have today. It is Justin Herbert. Now, currently Justin Herbert holds the record for most touchdown passes by a rookie quarterback in a single season. So that's nice. Other than that, Justin Herbert, he's the best quarterback coming out of college in the 2020 draft. Now, obviously, like, it's not that bad, or it's actually not that good since he's on the Chargers, and the Chargers haven't really been that decent of a team lately due to injuries. But Justin Herbert is by far the most consistent rookie quarterback of the new age, of the Super Bowl era. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Up next is the Lions QB, Matthew Stafford. Now, most people give Matthew Stafford just absolute shit for absolutely nothing. But Matthew Stafford is a very, very good quarterback. But sad thing is, I don't think Matthew Stafford is going to be the quarterback to rebuild the Lions franchise and take him to the Super Bowl whatsoever. That's pretty much all I got. Other than that, Matthew Stafford, he's one hell of a quarterback. He made one of the best QB runs in history. And yeah, that's all I got. Next up on our list, it is Kirk Cousins of the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I'm not really that fond of Kirk Cousins. He's not that bad of a quarterback, but to be honest, I don't really have anything good or bad to say about Kirk Cousins. I say he's just maybe one of those middle type of quarterbacks. Like, they just dabble in the middle in a ranking list. But he does have a really good team. He's on a really nice team, but they're just, the main problem with Kirk Cousins is that he gets inconsistent at around the third or fourth quarter of football games. Now, I say that's probably a big problem because you have to start getting at a regular pace if you're in a football game and you're about to win or something like that. I think the Vikings went, if I'm not wrong, I think they went 7-9 this year. I'm not entirely sure. I have to relook at the stuff, but yeah, I think Kirk Cousins this is a good place for him. Next up on our list is Jared Goff of the Los Angeles Rams. Now, this man somehow led the Rams to the playoffs, and they beat the Seahawks. I mean, I guess here, we'll talk about the Seahawks later in this list. But Jared Goff, I say, like, maybe he's inconsistent, but then at the same time, he's also very consistent. He's one of those quarterbacks who, it's like Kirk Cousins in a sense. He dabbles in the middle of a ranking list. He has a really bad O-line for his team, but he also has a really good defensive line. But yeah, Jared Goff is just probably one of those middle quarterbacks. I don't really have much like good or bad to say again about Jared Goff. He's a pretty consistent quarterback, except when he broke his thumb, so he was kind of inconsistent by then. But it was only a week injury, so that wasn't too bad. But other than that, yeah, that's all I got to say about Jared Goff. Being slightly better than Jared Goff in a few variety of ways, if you're a Raiders fan, would be Derek Carr. Now, obviously, a few weeks ago, not even a couple weeks ago, it was a few weeks ago in a game against the Chargers, Derek Carr hurt his groin, and ever since then, he's been very, very inconsistent. Obviously, injuries are going to keep a player like very inconsistent and maybe dabble like much slower. But you know, Derek Carr is probably like one of those different type of quarterbacks where he dabbles in the middle, but he also has that excelling skill. Like, as soon as he came out of college, so Derek Carr's like what, almost 30 now, and as soon as he came out of college, he wasn't that bad. He wasn't that bad. But I think it's like age. I think age has a pretty good difference in how good you do as a quarterback, except if you're Tom Brady or Drew Brees or Aaron Rodgers or somebody like that. But Derek Carr, I think age has probably affected him quite a bit. And yeah, that's the main reason why he's here. As much as I hate to put him here, especially since I'm partly a Niners fan, it is Jimmy Garoppolo. Ever since Super Bowl 54, after they lost to the Chiefs, Jimmy Garoppolo has been the most inconsistent quarterback out of anybody. And that's saying a lot. Especially because Jimmy Garoppolo, he's been sidelined for weeks now, and his team hasn't done much. And the former NFC champions, yeah, that's, I'm not even gonna say more because it saddens me that one of my favorite team's quarterbacks is just, yeah, it's dead. He's dead. Pushing in a spot above Jimmy Garoppolo, we have Cam Newton of the New England Patriots. Now, obviously, Cam Newton, he's a veteran, and yeah, you can expect from most that he would probably do good on the Patriots like he did with the Panthers. But thing is, Cam Newton is not that great now, at least. Before then, he was really good, but now he's just not. He's not a Super Bowl worthy quarterback, I would say. He did make the Super Bowl, I think it was in 2016 against Peyton Manning and the Broncos. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah. Cam Newton is just like one of those quarterbacks. He's a veteran. He knows how to scramble. He can throw. Well, maybe. But mainly because he can scramble. That's kind of the reason why he's here. But one of those quarterbacks you need to be like very, very consistent with scrambling and throwing. Cam Newton, he was very, very good at both of those. But now he's pretty much just good at scrambling by this point. Ever since he left the Panthers, yeah, it's just gone all downhill from here. And yeah, Bill Belichick, just because of him, Bill Belichick has not made the playoffs ever since 2008. Above Cam Newton, we have Matt Ryan from the Atlanta Falcons. Now, Matt Ryan is probably, I would say he's just like Kirk Cousins in a sense, but he has better experience and just a better skill level in general. But his team sucks. So I think Matt Ryan, if Matt Ryan were to go to a different team, I'd say he'd probably do better there than he ever did with the Falcons. Because these guys drafted Matt Ryan over signing Michael Vick again. But, I mean, that's not really a downgrade because Matt Ryan is a very, very nice quarterback. And he knows how to throw. He's very, very consistent. And despite his really lackluster speed, he can still scramble and he can make rushing touchdowns. So it's not that big of a deal for him. Matt Ryan's pretty fearless. I'd say he'd probably be one of those to actually get a superstar or I guess a superstar X Factor rating in Madden 21, but you know, that's the ratings adjusting problem. But yeah, Matt Ryan is just a very, very, very nice quarterback, and he knows how to take a hit. The man knows how to take a hit, and he knows how to scramble, and he knows how to call plays like a regular quarterback. Coming up next, we have the Washington football team's Alex Smith. Now, I would honestly be surprised if Alex Smith did not make comeback player of the year, because this man's been sidelined for 2 years with a leg injury, with a broken leg injury. You know how struggling that is to get back into football? Like, usually a broken leg doesn't take that long to recover. Like, maybe it takes like 6 to 9 months to recover at most. Alex Smith took 2 years, and he took it like a champ. That's kind of the reason why Alex Smith is here. And if he doesn't win comeback player of the year, I want to be a little bit embarrassed and also saddened, because he's a really nice quarterback, and he's the reason why the Washington football team made the playoffs in the 2020-2021 season. So yeah, that's Alex Smith. Next up, we have Big Ben Roethlisberger of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this guy, he led the Steelers to an 11-0 season this year, and after the last 5 games, it's just gone downhill for the Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger has been slacking a little bit. He's won 1 game ever since the 11-0 loss, or the 11-1 loss to, I think it was who was it that the Steelers lost to? It wasn't the Browns. It was somebody else. But anyways, Ben Roethlisberger, he's a nice quarterback. Obviously, he's a legendary quarterback at best. He's getting pretty old. He's getting up there, but he still has a couple seasons left in him. And I'd be surprised if the Steelers made the Super Bowl next year than this year, because they have a nice team. They have a really nice team. But ever since the last 5 to 6 games, they've been very, very inconsistent. So yeah, that's Big Ben. Okay, now like I mentioned earlier, it's not going to be just the quarterbacks that are actually playing right now as of the moment. So instead of Mitch Trubisky, it's Nick Foles. Nick Foles is next on this list for the Chicago Bears. Now, Nick Foles, he has a Super Bowl ring under him, and ever since then, he's been traded to multiple teams. He's been released. Actually, I don't even know if he's been released, but he's been traded to multiple teams like the Jaguars. He's been he's been on the Eagles. He might have been on a team beforehand, but I don't really know. And now he's on the Bears. And Nick Foles is not how he ever was back in 2018 when he won the Super Bowl and he beat Tom Brady and the Patriots. Nick Foles is a completely different person by this point, and him getting sidelined with a hip injury, it just all went downhill for the Chicago Bears. At least they did make the playoffs this year because Mitch Trubisky. Thanks, Mitch. Okay, here we go again with Dak Prescott. Now, obviously, Andy Dalton was in for the Cowboys this year, and he might not be on the Cowboys next year, but he might resign. But Dak Prescott, he was the original starter of the Cowboys, so obviously we're going to put him here on this list. I really, really enjoyed Dak on the Cowboys, but again, much like the Jaguars and the Jets, again, they don't have a good O-line. So, yeah, it's going to be kind of a big deal if Dak Prescott doesn't get his O-line situated. But also, Dak is becoming a free agent this season, so it might be a little bit difficult to re-sign him to the Cowboys. But we'll just see where it goes from there, because Dak is a really nice quarterback. He's very consistent. He can scramble pretty good, despite his slow speed, but he can also throw. And that's what every single NFL quarterback in whatever team needs. Like, I don't know, Lamar Jackson or like Russell Wilson, but we'll discuss them later in this video. Next up, we have Phillip Rivers of the Indianapolis Colts. Now, originally he was on the Los Angeles Chargers, but then he got traded this offseason, or actually he probably got released and signed with the Colts. But it looks like this year might be Phillip Rivers' final season, but I mean, he was a fantastic quarterback. Phillip Rivers, despite being almost 40, actually he probably is 40 years old right now, he was one of the most consistent quarterbacks in the NFL today. And that says a lot for his skill and his passion for football. And yeah, I think Phillip Rivers, so I don't know exactly what number he is on this list. He's like 11 or maybe 12 on this list, but I forgot to count. But I think for most people, Phillip Rivers would maybe be top 10. That's how good he is. Next up, we have the captain of the stinking, it's either the Geico or the Progressive commercials. I think it's the Geico commercials. It's Baker Mayfield of the Cleveland Browns. Now, this man is absolutely talented. Him and Patrick Mahomes put on an absolute show in college in that one match that they had. But Baker Mayfield, he's very consistent. He can scramble, he can throw. He has a really good set of receivers. Odell Beckham Jr., I'm sorry, buddy, but you're sidelined. Yeah, but just Baker Mayfield is just one of those quarterbacks that you can't be disappointed by. And they did beat the Steelers, so now they're on to the Chiefs tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think at like 5:15. 5:15 at Western time. I don't know. But anyways, Baker Mayfield, he's going to be at number 11 on this list, so I went back and counted. Yeah, that's all I got for Baker. He's really good. I hope he stays with the Browns for a really long time because he can help them really good to get in the Super Bowl. Okay, ladies and gents, now we're getting to the pretty damn good quarterbacks here. Number 10 is Josh Allen. Now, obviously, you can see Josh Allen. He's in the playoffs right now with the Bills for the first time since 2002, and they got their first win for the first time since 1995, I think. So yeah, that's a really good goal, a really good thing for Josh Allen and the Bills. And Josh Allen's a really fantastic quarterback coming out of college, very young. Last year he was very inconsistent, but Josh Allen busted his ass and he got his accuracy straight and he got his scrambling straight. And also with receivers like Stephon Diggs, it doesn't, like, I feel like everybody says the quarterbacks are good just because of their receivers, and that's so wrong. Josh Allen is not good because of his receivers. Josh Allen is good because he's Josh Allen and he's gotten better. So yeah, that's Josh Allen for you. Let's move on. Number 9 is the legend himself on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady. Now, obviously, you can see that Tom Brady has spent most of his career with the New England Patriots, and they've made it to 11 playoffs. Wow, 11 playoffs with Tom Brady. That is absolutely amazing. And Tom Brady has the record for the most passing touchdowns in the NFL right now with at least 570. So yeah, if Tom Brady excels this, he'll be going down in history as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, even though he already is. But now, with his absolutely great new offensive line and his new receiver set with Rob Gronkowski, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Antonio Brown, the Buccaneers are on the road to a Super Bowl. Now, would you guys want to see a Tom Brady Super Bowl run with the Buccaneers? Let me know down in the comments below, because to be honest, I kind of don't. I don't like seeing Tom Brady go to the playoffs, but he's a good quarterback, so I respect it. But yeah, that's Tom Brady for you. Let's move on. Next up on our list is the Arizona Cardinals, is Kyler Murray. Now, this man is an absolute legend for his amazing scrambling ability. Kyler Murray is one of those quarterbacks who knows how to throw and how to run. Now, in Madden 21, he has, I think, 91 speed, about the same speed as Derrick Henry. Lamar Jackson has 96. But I think Kyler Murray figuratively has better accuracy than Lamar Jackson. I mean, as you can see, the Hail Mary succeeded with DeAndre Hopkins against the Bills weeks and weeks ago. But enough about them. Kyler Murray is one of those quarterbacks who you just can't say no to. He's an absolutely fantastic quarterback, and I would take him in a fantasy draft. Definitely, I would take him. People say he's a wannabe Mike Vick, but I don't see that whatsoever in him. Kyler Murray is just one of those people. He's his own person, and Mike Vick's his own person too. So yeah, I think Kyler Murray is going to become an absolute legend when his career is over in the NFL. Number 7, it is your boy Deshaun Watson of the Houston Texans. I almost said like the New England Texans or something like that. I mean, they have the same colors, but it's the Houston Texans. Now, Deshaun Watson, ever since he got out of college, he is by far, I think, the most consistent quarterback from the last 3 years. But who knows? Like, people could say people are better than Deshaun Watson. Other quarterbacks are better than Deshaun Watson and stuff like that. But I think Deshaun Watson's probably the best. He's definitely really good at scrambling, and he knows how to throw. The only doubts, he actually holds the record for, or not really holds a record, but he was the passing yards leader this year in 2020 to 2021. And by the end of the season, obviously his team didn't make the the playoffs this year. Last year they did, but now this year they didn't because his team is just, his team is just inconsistent. But he has really good receivers and stuff like that. But Deshaun Watson's requesting a trade this offseason, according to the rumors. So we're gonna have to see where he goes, or even if he ends up back on the Texans. Who knows? He's an all-out great guy and an all-out great quarterback. So yeah, Deshaun Watson is ranked number 7. Number 6. Drew Brees. Drew Brees of the New Orleans Saints. Now, obviously, I don't think the New Orleans Saints have ever been bad, to be fair. But I just thought about reading more about Drew Brees because I was kind of interested. And I found out the other day that he used to be on the Los Angeles Chargers, or at the time it was the San Diego Chargers. But yeah, that's where Drew Brees was at first, but now he went to the New Orleans Saints, so that's pretty nice for him. Ever since then, his team's been really good. I don't think they've missed a playoff year. Their teams have always been good. Like, ever since Cameron Jordan went into the New Orleans Saints, their team's just been absolutely goated. And Drew Brees will definitely go down in history as one of the most legendary quarterbacks ever. And I think he has the most passing yards total for just a career. But yeah, I think this year, Drew Brees, if Drew Brees doesn't make a Super Bowl this year, I'm pretty sure he's gonna retire. Like, even if he does make a Super Bowl, he's gonna retire. That'd be nice if he got another Super Bowl ring under his waist, or actually under his finger. But yeah, we'll see what's gonna happen with Drew Brees. He's an absolutely legendary quarterback. Number 5 is a pretty surprising for this season, but I mean, this guy did pop off with his team this season, and it is Ryan Tannehill of the Tennessee Titans. Now, people would say Derrick Henry probably carried the Titans, but no, I think Ryan Tannehill did. His touchdown passes were on point, his receiving core is on point, and overall, Ryan Tannehill is just a really fantastic quarterback. Now, I think personally he's done better on the Titans than he ever did with the Miami Dolphins at the time, but yeah, Ryan Tannehill, he doesn't get the credit that he deserves, honestly. He's one of those quarterbacks that you're like, okay, I can't say no to him. He's just that good, okay? He's like a Tom Brady, but I would say a little bit better on the skill, but just not the records, if that makes any sense to you guys. But yeah, that's Ryan Tannehill. Let's move on. Number 4, it is my man of the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers. Now, ever since I saw that video of him finally starting over Brett Favre, yeah, I was in absolutely disbelief because, you know, Aaron Rodgers, most of the quarterbacks that have never gotten playing time ever, like, it seems like they're going to be good. Like, right now, Aaron Rodgers' backup is Tim Boyle, but they also have Jordan Love, and Jordan Love might be the starting quarterback after Rodgers retires. And yeah, but like, Aaron Rodgers is one of those quarterbacks that you just can't get enough of. I don't think the Green Bay Packers have ever been necessarily bad. They might have had losing seasons, but I don't think they've ever been like super bad because of Aaron Rodgers. Now, gotta admit, the receiving core on the team is really nice, and also their defense is a shutdown machine, and the running back is nice. But I think mainly the entire team that holds together their cooperation and everything that comes is because of Aaron Rodgers, and I think that's a really big thing to say about him. So yeah, that's Aaron Rodgers at number 4. So I'm assuming you guys know that I'm a Seahawks fan, and obviously you would think that I would rank Russell Wilson at the top of the list, but no, Russell Wilson, I would rank him at number 3 due to the fact that obviously he's a fantastic quarterback. Russell Wilson knows how to scramble, he knows how to pass, and yeah, that's pretty much all. But at the end of the 2020 through 2021 season, Russell Wilson has dropped down significantly, and it really pains me to see that, because when they first lost to the Cardinals, Russell Wilson, he did perfectly fine. I wasn't disappointed when they lost to the Cardinals. But then 2 games after, they either faced the Bills or the Rams. I think it was the Bills, and they lost to the Bills, and Russell Wilson did absolutely terrible that game. But Russell Wilson always comes back from his mistakes, and I think that's what's really unique about him. And you know, we gotta let Russ cook, but at the end of the season, Russ was overcooked. But yeah, so Russell Wilson's at number 3. I think his receiving core is obviously nice. He knows how to pass, he knows how to scramble. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, but I really hope Russell Wilson really shuts up the haters in 2021. You guys may also think that this guy would be put on the top of the list. Debatably the best quarterback in the league, it is Patrick Mahomes II. Now, obviously Patrick Mahomes was a Heisman Trophy winner. He was a Super Bowl MVP. He's a Super Bowl winner. He's the 2019 NFL MVP. You know, Patrick Mahomes does it all. He can scramble, he can throw. He's on basically the best team in the league now. And I don't think anybody can change the difference between them. Like, Patrick Mahomes, very consistent. Yeah, that's pretty much it. He has a great coach. I think he gets most of the stuff from Andy Reid, but you know, that's just my opinion. But it's Patrick Mahomes now. He's great. Patrick Mahomes is absolutely amazing, and I've been reading a book about him recently, and his childhood's fantastic. And obviously his brother is a celebrity, kind of not even a phenomenon, but he's famous somehow. But yeah, enough about Jackson Mahomes. We're talking about Patrick Mahomes. At first, Patrick Mahomes wanted to do baseball when he was younger, so that was nice. But he quit baseball to do football, and he started football in his freshman year of high school, and he got his throwing arm from playing baseball. So that's really, really, really nice about him. So like, and his father was always very keen on him playing baseball, but he knew like he really couldn't just have him stick with baseball the entire time. So yeah, Patrick Mahomes is here on number 2, and I'm pretty sure you guys can guess who the number 1 spot is by this point. And coming up at number 1 in this list, obviously you guys can see by the jerseys, by the number, and especially by the name on the jersey, it is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, he's my favorite quarterback of the Super Bowl era right now. Reason being is because he's fast, he's agile, he pretty much, like, I would say I probably got inspired by him and also Michael Vick. I've gotten inspired by both of those two. And I just think of Lamar as kind of like myself in a sense, but like, not going to say anything else. Like, I'm not going to put in race into this, obviously, because, you know, Lamar Jackson's a different race to me, but I feel like I get inspired, and like, I'm fast. Okay, so right now I'm 6'3", about 170 pounds. I'm fast, and I can't really throw as much. Lamar Jackson can run and throw, and he's very consistent. So honestly, if we don't see him in a Super Bowl in the coming years, I feel like we'd be a little bit disappointed. But Lamar Jackson's performances never ever get old. He's probably the greatest running back, he's probably the greatest quarterback that we have today, besides Patrick Mahomes. But enough said. Lamar Jackson is by far my favorite quarterback, and I hope he's your guys' too. That'd be really nice because we have something in common. But yeah, Lamar Jackson is number 1 on this list. Now, please let me know if you guys got triggered in the comment section below by this list. But anyways, that is going to be the video for today. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends, and turn on those post notifications as well to stay updated. But yeah, that was all 32 NFL quarterbacks ranked worst to best. I will see you guys in the next video.